You're listening to the Cryptid Creature Show with Todd and Brian. We're glad you're here, and we hope you're enjoying the show. Don't forget to visit our website at www.cryptidcreatures.net. By becoming a member, you'll get access to exclusive videos, members-only episodes, early, unedited, ad-free releases, and even a shout-out on an episode. Join us at www.cryptidcreatures.net, and thank you for supporting the show.
I was sitting in my backyard and I was on the phone with my mom. My husband, he's like, "You need to get in the house now." All the wildlife stopped. And it was just weird. So I stand up and all of a sudden out it like something big moving through the woods back here. You could hear and like kind of see the trees swaying. I heard horse hooves. Then I felt like a rush of wind, almost like something flew over me.
This is the Cryptid Creature Show. I am Brian, and with me, as always, is my co-host Todd. What's up, buddy?
You know, man, I was thinking about something. Have you ever noticed whatever people write about, whatever they make movies about, whatever they talk about does become true? Have you noticed that? I mean,
Yeah.
we've wrote all these books about monsters and werewolves and the whole genre of Bigfoot, but they're out there, they're real. Someone just doesn't pull this werewolf thing out of his head and go, "I'm just going to create a man-wolf hybrid theory." I mean,
Right, they're all based in some kind of legend.
you know, these
Some
legends
kind of fact.
are real. You know,
All legends are based in some kind of fact.
So maybe that's how the aliens are going to start integrating. Maybe that's really
But it also
what's
depends
going
on how you
Something to
believe. You
think about.
believe in the Hollow Earth theory that they're already here and the reptilians are living inside and they're going to make their way out? Or do you believe that they're aliens and the mothership's going to be showing up pretty soon?
You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say anything's possible and no one really knows.
Nobody does know. Well, nobody normal knows.
Yeah. Maybe
Somebody probably
someday we
knows.
will.
I think somebody in some level of government knows what's going on.
Definitely. Well, we better bring our guest on.
Oh, yeah.
These
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
are
we
tired of
better.
hearing us talk about.
Yeah, I know. They're tired of hearing us ramble on.
Tonight, we're bringing on Jamie. She's from upstate New York. She's had some very interesting things happen on around her homestead and then some woods behind her house.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. From the paranormal to the Bigfoots.
yeah, so we're interested to hear her stories and see what she's got to say. So let's not waste any more time, man. Let's bring her on. What do you say?
Yep. Let's get her. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, guys.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's our pleasure.
So you're up there in upstate New York, is that right?
Yep, I'm in the Adirondack Mountains.
Cool.
Nice.
You live
We're
there?
about 20 minutes from Lake George.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the background there.
I came back here for a reason. It's behind my house. It's all woods.
Nice.
So you've lived there all your life, basically, is that right?
No, I'm from downstate, but I've lived up here for the last 30 years.
Oh, okay. So what's going on up that way, your way? You having some strangeness happening there?
My life has been full of strangeness. I feel like I attract it. I vividly remember a few things that like really stuck out to me. Like I was sitting in my backyard and my kids were super little. They're 17 and 18 now, but they were super little. My husband and I were out here hanging out. It was a nice night like today with our dogs. And I was on the phone with my mom and my husband doesn't talk to me like some sort of way. You know, he's like super respectful. And he's like, "You need to get in the house now." And I was like, "I don't know who you think you're speaking to like that." But didn't notice when I was on the phone with her that like all the wildlife stopped. The birds weren't chirping, the peepers, like the little tree frogs, they weren't going off, nothing. Everything was silent. And it was just weird. So I'm like, "All right, Mom, I gotta go." I hang up. My husband and my 110-pound pit bull mastiff mix, who is scared of nothing, was at the door looking at me like, "You need to move your ass, lady." And then I'm like, okay. So I stand up and all of a sudden out of like something big moving through the woods back here. Like you could hear and like kind of see the trees swaying, but I couldn't see anything. And I'm like, I ain't going to find out. And I went in the house. There was another time when I was sitting in my backyard by myself again on the phone, because that's, you know, what girls do at night, I guess. I don't know. So I was talking to my sister, and I live in not like a big city, but I felt like I heard like horse hooves. And it was the strangest thing. It was like in the middle of the night. My husband used to work overnight shifts. So I'd like talk on the phone with one of my sisters at night. And I'm like, this is just so weird. Then I was actually sitting where my back was facing my house. And I felt like a rush of like wind, almost like something flew over me. But I like put my head down because I didn't want to get hit.
So what do you think that was? Do you think it was the Jersey Devil or something like that?
You know, what's funny is like, I've always been into like the paranormal stuff, the cryptid stuff. And the Jersey Devil didn't even cross my mind for that until I listened to one of your podcasts about the Jersey Devil. Okay. And I've known about it. You know what I mean? But I'm like, but you think the Jersey Devil is in New Jersey. I'm about 4 hours away from Jersey. So I guess in my mind, it was only there, you know?
Right.
Jersey can keep its creepies, I guess.
Well, they could be all over. Who knows? I mean, you're on that side of the United States and you're in a really heavy populated or heavy wooded area. So there could be a lot of things up in there.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Whitehall, New York.
Yep.
I am not far away.
Okay.
Like 30, maybe 45 minutes, depending on traffic. My husband and I ride motorcycles. We ride through there all the time because it's just so beautiful. It's really not that far away.
So what else is going on there then?
Oh my goodness. So like my life has literally been everything paranormal. Like my earliest memory is actually seeing spirits and having them speak to me from Cooksaki, which is down in the Hudson Valley in New York. And as you can tell by the name, it's a Native American area. We lived in this cute little house, and it was surrounded by woods on 3 sides, the middle of the sticks. And I'm my parents together. I'm their only child. So growing up, I didn't really have anybody to play with. So I played by myself outside. And I remember I was really young, and it's hard when you try and remember something that happened when you're young, you kind of twist it to your adult brain and your adult way of thinking. But when I was little, I could see wolf people come out of the woods.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if it's actually, you know, like wolf people, or if it was maybe Native American people in their ceremonial, like the animal skin clothing. I don't know. And like I said, I was super young. So like the memory is skewed.
I don't think they'd be hanging around your house if they were just roaming around out in the woods like that. I meant more like Native American, like spirits, not like, I apologize. I wasn't clear. Not like, you know, living beings. Like a skinwalker or something like that?
I didn't think about that either. Just because that's more of a out west thing, you know. I've never heard about anything skinwalker related in New York. I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I just haven't heard anything about it.
Right.
So I didn't equate it to a skinwalker, but you might have a point.
Well, you got Dogman up there. We know that.
It could have been that too, honestly. Like the memory is just
vague.
Yes, thank you.
What else is going on over there?
So at this house, we've had some crazy stuff happen at this house too. And my husband and I've been together for 20 years. And we've lived in this house together for 20 years. This is actually his childhood home. Cool part is that he's like, he doesn't think I'm crazy, but he just kind of seems to be like oblivious to some of the things that happen. You know what I mean? We have a shed that way. Mm-hmm. That's a new shed, but the shed there's always been a shed there. And this was a very long time ago. It was when Ghost Adventures first came out and got like super popular, right? And I said to my husband, I'm like, we just got a digital camera. And I'm like, oh my God, grab it. Let's go take pictures. We could catch something. We totally did. There was an orb, and this tree above me is fir trees. And we caught this orb. I'll have to dig the picture out and I'll email it to you. But no, that was badass. I was like, oh my God, see, we caught something. I told you there's creepy shit here.
How big was the orb?
It was decent size. Like on the screen, it was like, this big, but I'm like, and it was super like clear. You know how if people catch like dust particles, you can kind of see like inconsistencies in them. This was so bright and it was so perfect.
What'd it do?
Let us take its picture and make us kind of edgy after we discovered it, because we're like, he's 100%, oh, we're not going to catch nothing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, we are. And then, oh, look. And now, like, oh, shit, there really is something back there. I'm not just one of those crazy people who let Zach Beggins get into my head for 20 minutes. We didn't scream and run like the guys do, but...
Yeah, they do that a lot.
Yeah, they do.
You ever hear any weird screams or noises out in the woods there?
Howls.
That's the difficult part. Even though I am in a city, I do have like this all behind me, and it goes all the way back to a huge reservoir about a half a mile away. And then I have West Mountain up the road. West Mountain has its own lore to it. If you guys have ever heard of the witch Abigail West in the Adirondack Mountains, that's why West Mountain is called West Mountain. And I can see it from my backyard. You can't right now because we're getting all the smoke from the fires from Canada. But usually I look over here and bam, you can see West Mountain.
Wow, that'd be cool.
So I have heard screams. I maybe it was just to cope with the scream, but I thought it was a fisher cat. It sounded like a fisher. We definitely have like foxes. And if they take away a bunny, it definitely sounds like a scream, like a woman's scream.
What's a fisher cat?
You know what a fisher cat is? They're literally the size of like a medium-sized dog. They're in the weasel family.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yep. Google them. They're terrifying. They're really dangerous and really aggressive.
And they're where? Around your area?
Yep. Well, I guess they're all over, at least like New York, New England area.
What are they called? Fisher?
Fisher cats.
Oh,
they're not a cat. They're a weasel.
That's a big weasel.
Oh, you know what that is? That's a wolverine.
No,
Nope.
No, it's not.
They're bigger than wolverines.
Really?
Yep. Stand taller. They might not outweigh them.
Huh.
Looks like a giant ferret is what it looks like.
Yeah, I would have never known this. That's new to me. That was cryptid to me. We just
there you go. Huh?
The fisher cat, huh? Okay, I see. Looks like a giant weasel.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that.
Huh. I wonder what I would do if I would have saw that out in the wild. I just would have been like, oh, there's a weasel. There's a
big otter.
They're super dangerous.
I thought it was a wolverine. Whatever.
They're super aggressive.
Yeah, I never knew. How come I've never heard of that animal before?
I don't know, because we don't live in New York.
Now, see, that's a perfect example right there of what we strive to do. And even though it's been known to science, hell, I've never heard of it. And I thought I knew everything.
Well, you don't, sweetheart. You don't.
Obviously not.
I'd be happy if I know half the stuff I should know.
But see, like, you would definitely understand why if I heard like something scream in the woods, why I might think it's a fisher. Because they sound awful. They sound like a woman being tortured.
Wow.
We hear that a lot too with a lot of animals, mountain lions, if you've ever heard them, or bobcats, if you've ever heard them, or even foxes. Coyotes going at it with each other, just screaming at each other.
Woman screaming.
Yeah, it's just so.
And
Or
owls.
Yeah.
Just hoot, you know what I mean? They make some god awful noises too.
So, do you think you've got some Bigfoot roaming around close by where you're at?
You know, I've lived here for 20 years. I've never gone back in those woods.
Wow.
Something has always just told me not to.
Especially if you got a reservoir back there.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty far back, but like something has always told me not to. And I'm not a stranger to the woods. Like I said, I grew up down in Coxsackie. We lived right on the wood line. My dad and I would walk in the woods 365 days a year. I'm no stranger to the woods. Like when you got that little voice in your head that tells you don't do that, I don't do that.
Interesting. Something's going on there then.
I would think so.
Absolutely. Well, we're also, my area is where the bloodiest battles of the French and Indian War took place.
Oh, probably hard
So
too.
I used to, before I got my Rottweiler, because he likes to chase them and catch them, I used to feed the rabbits, the wild rabbits, but like on the other side of the fence. So they wouldn't like come in the yard, but they still do. So, you know, whatever. I had 2 small children in a Victorian era dress rush me to the point where I went, oh, and literally fell backwards.
Wow.
You couldn't hear them. You know what I mean? Like you can hear anything walking around back there, but they were just like right on me.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, this is a whole bunch of nope. This is why I don't go back in these woods.
Oh, you need to.
No.
Yeah, it would be creepy to see some kind of entity.
Oh, yeah.
Probably more so than a Bigfoot or. So tell us more. What else is going on there? Or have you experienced? You said you have quite a bit.
I do. I was on the phone with one of my friends and I smoke outside. I was smoking in the garage and I had the door open from the garage to the backyard. So my dog could just go in and out if he wanted to. But my dog didn't come out with me. And I saw it. What my mind equated it to was a giant, like Alaskan Malamute walk past that door. And I only saw it real quick, right? But there's no way it could get in my backyard. I have like no holes big enough for a Malamute to fit through. There was a paw print. It was like this big. I mean, I had a pit bull mastiff, but his paws were like this big in comparison. I can't remember if I got a picture of it because it was a while ago. I'll have to, when I'm digging for that orb picture, I'll look for that one too. But
could that have been a timber wolf maybe?
We don't have them in New York.
Well, it could be a dog, man.
I say it like that because the NCON has told us for years we don't have mountain lions here, and I call bullshit because I've seen mountain lions in New York my entire life.
Hey, you got Fisher cats. You can have anything there.
Oh, yeah.
Have them here, or we don't have them here. So, and I've never heard or seen another one. But I was driving on the main road, and it was at night. My husband forgot something, so he texted me and asked me to bring it to him to work. I went to go get it. My kids were with me, but they were little, and I slammed on my brakes because it wasn't there. You know, like, I don't know if anyone else has ever experienced when you're driving, you think you see something coming at you out of the corner of your eye, so you slam on your brakes.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the same thing what it was, but I could make out that it was a big dog.
Yeah, well, obviously something's going on running around there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we've heard the dog man, the ones that look like Malamutes.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know, like the more we're talking, the more I'm remembering whole life of this weird stuff happening. But no, it was, and I said out loud, like, that was the same thing that was in my backyard. And my kids are looking at me like I'm nuts. They're probably like 4 and 5 at the time, looking at me like, Mom, you're crazy. Like, because they didn't see it, of course. And there was no other car on the road.
What's your husband saying about it?
My husband thinks I'm nuts sometimes. He has never talked about the noise we heard where he yelled at me to come in the house. He's never talked about it after. But he will admit that some weird shit goes on. If we're sitting in the house, like I said, my kids are 17 and 18. They don't like to hang out with us anymore. They're in their rooms doing their own thing. Or, my son will hear a weird noise in our kitchen, but there's nobody in the kitchen. And he'll just look at me and I'll look at him and I'll watch him for a second. Like, what's this look? Because I know what I think it is. There was one time when our son was just little and I saw it too. Like, our bathroom is right across from his bedroom door into his bedroom. I knew who it was. The way it walked, it was my grandfather, who I was super close to. We were super close. So I knew who it was just by the way he walked. My husband looks at me. He's like, "Did you just see that?" It's like, "Yep, I did." It went into Aiden's room. I go, "Yeah, it was my grandfather. We're good. It's fine. He's just checking on his great grandbaby. We all right."
That's
Leave him alone. Don't make him go away. I like him,
I just got goosebumps there. I love that.
One of our friends just passed away. Like, literally just. 2 weeks ago. Sudden death. He was only 31. My husband's in a motorcycle club, and it was one of the members, and most of them went to Laconia for Bike Week. He was from New Hampshire. So he went to Laconia and then scooted up to go see his family, went to bed one night, didn't wake up. I was sitting with my mom. I work around the corner from my mom's house, so I'll go over on my lunch break and hang out with her for a little while. And all of a sudden, I smell cigar smoke. And yeah, I smoke cigarettes, but I wasn't smoking. And nope, cigar smoke. And I looked at my mom and I was like, that was really weird, but whatever, went about my day. The other boys started posting pictures from Laconia. And there was a picture of 4 of them with cigars in their hands.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw that picture, I just kind of smiled and cried at the same time. My husband, he will not deny this one. My husband, obviously, we're all super upset. Like, he was a great guy. He was really close friends. My husband also paints motorcycles. So he was painting something. We went out front of our house to talk, and my husband had a beer in his hand. He put it on the hood of his truck, and it stood there, whatever. Then all of a sudden it starts moving. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Then all of a sudden the bottle starts walking down the truck. And he goes, yells at his friend, "Knock it off. If this beer falls off my truck, I'm going to be pissed." Doesn't the beer full speed fly off the truck? And I went, he looks at you and says, "What are you going to do about it now?"
Right. Yeah.
So that one he can't deny and he won't deny. He has even told the other boys about it. I don't know. Like I've said, I've had all these a lifetime of strange occurrences.
Bottle incident that you just talked about, where did this happen at?
My house, but in the front yard.
You're listening to the Cryptid Creature Show. If you're a fan of the show, go and check out our new Patreon site. You'll get access to our private Discord server, exclusive merchandise, access to all live streams and Q&As, discounts on merch from the Cryptid Creature store, and get a chance to be a guest host during one of the show's recordings. Just go to www.patreon.com/cryptidcreatures1. Thank you for listening and supporting the show.
So it sounds like you've got some entities, some
So you got some friendly ghosts.
some ghostly things going on. You mentioned about you said the battle was fought there, the largest French Indian War battle. So a lot of deaths probably happened there, I'm guessing. And
oh, absolutely.
So
literally a bloodbath.
And you're near Whitehall. So
yep. Did you guys? Okay, so I listened to your podcast. I haven't listened in a while. I like to wait until I have a bunch of them built up because I listen to them at work.
Thanks for listening.
No problem. I love it. I was super happy I found it.
Cool.
So I wait till a bunch of them build up and I just kind of binge. I've noticed a theme, and it doesn't matter what cryptid y'all are discussing. There's always cryptids and spirits or some sort of ghost paranormal phenomena.
Yeah.
Fairly often there is, yeah.
They usually go hand in hand.
Yeah. But in my mind, they're way two different things. So I was like,
Are they?
I don't see it in my mind, but maybe they're not. I'm not always right, just most of the time.
So what do you think about everything? What's your philosophy on cryptids and spirits and aliens? Do you have alien interaction where you're?
Oh my God. Yes, I wish my son was home because I'd have him join me right now. We were leaving the school. So we're driving around the little thing and I'm like, what the hell is that? Literally, like, there was like a cylindrical, that might not be the word. I'm having trouble with words today. Object in the sky. And it's literally like reflecting the sunlight to the point where I wouldn't have noticed it if it didn't reflect the sunlight into my face. And my son saw it too. And I was like, dude, we totally just saw a UFO. And he's like, yeah, we did, Mom. He tried to take a picture. It was gone.
Wow.
Yeah. Shortly after that, I was out working in my garden and there were literally like 4 or 5 like black helicopters driving or flying over my house shortly after, like the day after, to the point where I tried to text my husband, like, hey, do you know what's going on? Like, I had 0 service. I had no cell service. I had no internet. I couldn't even open my phone.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. But I definitely believe that all these things are real. They might not necessarily be intertwined, but they might not necessarily not be. There's this big thing where, you know, like, if you have something, like, things attract other things. You know what I mean? Like, so if the whole UFO and Bigfoot coincide together, I feel like one of them might attract the other. I don't think that Bigfoot's like a interdimensional being, but that's just my opinion. I don't think anybody who believes that is wrong. I definitely believe that they might attract one another. You know, like a wolf has a kill and that attracts crows, ravens, foxes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
There's also, I think there's also hotspots where, paranormal hotspots where these things are more active, and you living right by a battlefield is probably pretty hot.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's up here in Lake George. There's the Fort William Henry. There was a fort in Fort Edward. And then maybe an hour away is Fort Ticonderoga.
Heard of
So
that
we
one?
have like a lot of all the like the forts where everything took place, and just literally like right in a line.
Yeah, so you're right in the middle of it. You're probably getting a lot of
It's I feel like
paranormal activity.
I feel like I get more than I acknowledge at this point. You know what I mean? Like, you see things out of the corner of your eye all the time. You hear noises all the time. So you just learn to either ignore them or, oh, the ghosts are back. Like, you know?
Do you have cameras set up in your backyard?
I do.
Look at the woods?
No, they're not pointed at the woods. They are actually pointed at my back door. No, but I bet you I could talk them into it.
I think you probably should. You might find some interesting stuff back there.
Well, because I won't go back there, yeah.
Even put one on the back of your shed pointing back.
I was thinking that. I just turned to look. Like, we could totally even put one up in a tree, get like a trail cam or something.
Yeah.
You'd probably
He'll go do that. I won't.
You'd probably catch a fisher cat on one of them things if you did.
Oh my God.
Or something bigger.
I almost like the ignorance. I almost like not knowing.
Maybe.
Almost.
I mean, yeah, but wouldn't you just a little curious?
Yes and no. Like, if as long as you leave me alone, we're cool, dude. Like, we're cool. Like, leave me alone, leave my kids alone, leave my dogs alone. Don't cross my fence line, please. And we're cool. I'll leave you alone, you leave me alone. I feel like I don't want them in my yard. Why am I going to go in theirs?
Right. Mutual respect. I get it.
Yeah.
You're probably safer that way.
And there's a lot of ticks back there.
When was the last time you saw that big wolf creature?
The first time I saw it was 17 years ago. The last time I saw it was probably like 10, 15 years ago.
Have you heard of any other Bigfoot sightings or anything else going on in that area?
Only down in Whitehall, and I haven't heard them like firsthand. Like it's been like a grapevine kind of thing. And I know it's like super commercialized, at least for our area, Whitehall, the Bigfoot's super commercialized. Like they even have statues in town of Bigfoot.
Cool.
Next time we go through there, I'll snap a picture.
Yeah, definitely.
Send that to us.
So the only person up my way it was me that I've heard of. And like I said, I don't even know if it was a Bigfoot. It wouldn't surprise me.
No.
It sounded huge.
A lot of people probably just aren't saying anything. You never know.
It's 2023, kids. Come on. We all know they're there. Just talk about it.
I know, but people won't. They still won't do it.
It's nuts.
Afraid to be ridiculed.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, yeah, I keep looking back there now. Because it was like this time of day.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, it was like this time of day when I was, we were out here enjoying the evening. It'd be cool as hell if something happened when y'all were talking to me, wouldn't
I
it?
know, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You're like, put the camera on it.
See something run behind you or something like that? Or
That's why I was trying to look behind the trees while we were talking.
Sorry, I moved. You were looking at my neighbor's house.
Yeah.
Like right back between the trampoline and that white thing.
It's a greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
An empty greenhouse. I'm a little late this year.
It's like a trail right back there.
So it could definitely be a game trail, but like, yeah, you can see it. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, and I don't usually go that close either. Because that's the spot where the kids ran at me.
Oh, nice. Yeah, get away from there.
And like, my daughter will come and play outside. She's 17, but she's disabled. She mentally functions more, probably about like 6. So she'll still come out and play outside and stuff. And it's super cute. But like, we actually have one of the cameras pointing at the trampoline to see her. And she'll be sitting there talking to herself.
To herself.
Full-blown conversation. We also have a camera in her bedroom because she has a seizure disorder. She hasn't had one in a really long time, like knock on wood, but I'm neurotic. So like it's in there just in case. And there's definitely been some times where she's been talking to herself. Full-blown conversation. Like talk.
Answering.
Right. Like we're talking now. Like I'm talking to you, you're replying back. You just can't hear the reply back.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe she's got some friends visiting.
She does. And apparently this friend's name is Sarah.
Oh.
Maybe it's one of those little girls.
Yeah. She can stay outside the house though. Like I got enough going on inside the house.
Was the house already there when you moved in or did you build it?
Nope. The house was built in 80 or 82.
Well, it's not that old. But...
No, it's not. But however, this part right there where you can hear the air conditioner from, we built that.
Okay.
It's an extension. My father-in-law has an in-law apartment on our house.
Ah, okay.
So we built that. But like this part of the house was always here. Well, when they put it here in the 80s, early 80s.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what could have happened before you
we
guys
know what
moved in
happened
there, you know?
Right. There was, I guess, only one person owned it before my father-in-law bought it. And that person was in a wheelchair. So like the sink was super low in the kitchen. My father-in-law had that raised up. But I'm younger than my husband, like 3 years younger than him. I didn't know he was alive then. So I was never here. But no. And I'll tell you, since we did the extension. So the main house is a 2-bedroom ranch house. Well, we have 2 children, one of each sex, and then there's me and my husband. So we didn't have enough room for everybody. when we did the extension for my father-in-law to move in, we put a basement because it was just a ranch on a slab. We didn't even have a basement in the original house. And in the basement is mine and my husband's bedroom.
Oh, okay.
There was one night I come home from work and he is literally sitting outside. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know, but you need to go downstairs and you need to fix it. I'm pagan. So like, you know, I have like my sage and like whatever. I call it my little ghost busting tools because mostly it just makes you feel better after, you know, it's like a placebo. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you need to go in our bedroom and you need to fix it before I go down there. Okay. So I went downstairs and the air was so heavy. It like punched you right in the chest, like took your breath away. You walk through the doors because we have like these really like pretty French doors. You walked through the French doors and it was like almost like you were walking into a whole nother world. It just felt so, I can't even describe it. It was just so weird. And I was like, well, guess I gotta fix this. I mean, it's never done that again. But like, it was very soon after we put the extension on the house and got all of our stuff and started actually like utilizing our basement bedroom.
Did you dig anything up when you were making the basement?
Oh, good point.
If they did, I have no clue. Because we didn't build it. We had contractors come and do it.
Somebody else dug it out.
Yeah. So when they did dig though, so you know how like a guy comes out and surveys for like underground wires or whatever? I don't know if you guys have them there. We have them here in New York. So the guy comes out from like, you know, the National Grid or whatever and looks and goes to survey for the wires. He's like, oh, you're fine. You're good to go, to my contractor. They started to dig. My contractor left to go get a cup of coffee up the road because he couldn't do nothing. They were using a big backhoe or whatever. Three scoops in, my power's out.
Wow.
So they hit an underground wire. And I was like, but that wasn't supposed to be there. And this whole thing to me felt sabotage from the beginning. Like, it shouldn't have been. But
no.
I just live here.
Yeah, you've got some strange things going on around you and in your home, and I think that'd be a lot for me. I'd probably consider moving, but obviously it doesn't bother you guys. I've dealt with this my entire life. I've been thrown downstairs by something that wasn't there. I have friends who lived on a 3rd floor apartment. 16 years old, you know, hop in my car, pick up a couple friends, and we go over to hang out because they had their own apartment, you know, which is cool when you're 16.
Oh, yeah.
So we go and hang out, and everybody is in front of me because I'm almost 6 foot tall. I have like super long strides, and everybody's always in my way. So I wait until they like are halfway down the stairs, and finally I go. And when I went, I was walking downstairs like normal, and I felt hands in the middle of my back. 3 flights of stairs down I went.
Wow.
And I waited longer than I usually do for them to go downstairs, almost like I knew something shitty was going to happen. And they all just looked at me, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what happened either, guys. And, well, one of my friends, we've been friends since we were kids, and he looks up, he's like, you didn't just fall, though. Because he was at the bottom, you know, waiting for us. And he goes, you didn't fall. You were shoved. I'm like, well, thank you, because I thought so too, but I felt crazy because ain't nobody behind me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been really fun. Very interesting.
It's probably because your beliefs and being pagan, I guess. Maybe you draw these entities towards you, or maybe you're what your we call sensitive to being able to see and deal with these things. What do you think about that?
I actually feel like, because I was raised Catholic, and I feel like that because of my experiences is why I chose my path in paganism. Because my mom is super open-minded, but like in, you know, the Catholic beliefs, and I'm not dogging on any religion. I don't care what anybody believes. As long as you have some sort of faith, I feel like you're good. But like, that's like a no-no. That doesn't happen. You know, like it's not a spirit, it's the devil and blah, 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 blah. And then when you start looking into it more as a curious teenager, you realize that that's not right. That's not how it goes. And, oh, this is pretty cool. I've been like able to hear people talk that weren't there, and I'm not schizophrenic. I don't know if it was so much. I feel like I changed my beliefs because of what was occurring.
Yeah. So that's probably, I mean, other than where you live in that, I think a sensitive hotspot. I think you're pretty open to it too. So that draws more to you, I think. Like,
oh, you're not wrong. Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I feel like sometimes I have like this big light that comes off of me that, you know, you can't see unless you're like an ethereal being.
And you're surrounded by them. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you did go walking in your woods, you probably would definitely see a Bigfoot or a dog man.
Something.
Or something.
Yeah, something.
Definitely some spirits.
Maybe a skinwalker. You know. Who knows?
I would love to hear if there's any other person like in New York or even New England who's experienced a skinwalker, because I've only heard them out west. I mean, I've only heard.
Well, maybe this episode, when it comes out, will jog somebody's memory.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be awesome. I would love to know.
Skinwalkers, like I said, New York. You hear that?
Because there is a lot of Native American influence up there in upstate New York. So
absolutely.
You never know.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I would love to know that. So yeah, if after this episode airs or whatever, you guys hear something, definitely let me know. I'd love to.
Yeah, we will for sure.
And you keep us posted on what's going on over there.
Oh, absolutely. I'll go looking for those pictures and email them over to you guys.
That'd be great.
Sounds good. We thank you for being on the show and talking to us today.
Thank you,
thank you guys for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Listening.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. You guys make my 8-hour workday go by so much faster.
All right. Awesome. That's good to hear.
Yep.
Glad we could be a part of it.
Yep. All right. You take care.
Why I'm so tired all the time.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Well, you take care, Jamie.
Thanks, guys. You too.
All right. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, she's not kidding. She's definitely got some weirdness going on.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially that house, man. What's going on with that?
I don't know. I thought sure I'd have to get out in those woods, though. Wouldn't you?
Oh, I would too, for sure. Yep, I'd be taking a walk back there. Especially with if there's a battlefield that close to her house. I mean, come on. Yeah. You got to be able to get out there and find something.
Unless she's that terrified, which I understand that too.
I would get that if she was, but
I'd round up some.
The temptation is just there.
I know. You'd be coming over and we'd be hitting out in them woods, man.
Mm-hmm, for
in
sure.
the daytime, of course. Not
yeah.
Maybe at dusk a little bit. But anyway, it was great having her on. And
yeah, it was.
Her stories and encounters.
Yeah, she was great.
And listeners, if you've had an encounter or know someone who's had an encounter with a cryptid being, reach out to us. Get a hold of us. Email us at info@cryptidcreatures.co.
Indeed. Let us know what's going on.
And we'd love to hear your story. You can go on our website as well and submit your story on there if you like to type it out a little bit and tell us what's going on.
www.cryptidcreatures.net.
We appreciate you guys all, and thanks for listening.
Right on, man.
Brian, it's great hanging out with you as always, my friend.
Always fun, brother. Always learning.
Let's take off, man. What do you say?
Yep. See ya.